मैम 11 o'clock से रिकॉर्डिंग करिएगा।
हाँ हाँ पॉज कर दिया इसलिए।
मैंने मीटिंग रूम हटा दिया है। ओके,
अभी उसको पॉज कर दीजिए रिकॉर्डिंग।
हाँ पॉज कर दिया है, फिर देखिए
जो देख लीजिए दिखाई दे रहा है सर?
यस मैम, आपका
हेलो,
वीडियो दिख रहा है।
हाँ सर ठीक है। मेरी आईडी आपकी है ना? मेरे उसकी कॉपी कैसे होगा? हाँ नहीं, आपने इसमें जूम डाउनलोड किया है?
इसमें चार्ज तो पूरा है ना, चार्ज तो पूरा है।
अरुणेन सर,
यस सर।
सारे पार्टिसिपेंट से बोल दीजिए कि अपने ओरिजिनल नेम से ज्वाइन करें। कुछ लोगों ने मोबाइल लावा, रेडमी
यस यस,
ऐसे नेम से ज्वाइन कर रखा है, तो टेल ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट टू ज्वाइन विद देयर ओरिजिनल नेम।
I am requesting to all the participants, please join their original names. Again, I am requesting to all the participants, please join this room with original name.
All the participants, those who have joined, their names are showing differently. Please join with their original names. A very fresh morning to all the participants and join us for this webinar. I welcome you all of you. I, Geeta Sharma, the moderator of this program, on behalf of the Department of Applied Science and Humanities under College of Technology and Management, welcome you all on this wonderful webinar on improving emotional intelligence through personality development. On the very outset, in the series of welcoming formally, I would like to welcome Professor Lata Mishra from Kamla Raja Government College. Welcome, ma'am, for this webinar. I would like to welcome Honorable Director.
Hello. Yes.
I would like to welcome Dr. Arun Kumar Tyagi, Honorable Director, IPS Group of Colleges. I would like to welcome CAAO IPS Group of Colleges, Mr. P.K. Ghosh. Welcome, sir. I would like to welcome respected Principal, IPS College of Technology and Management, Dr. P.S. Chauhan. Welcome, sir. I would also welcome Dr. Jyoti Mishra, HOD Department of Applied Science and Humanities. Welcome, ma'am. I would also welcome all the HODs of various departments of IPS College of Technology and Management. Welcome all of you once again. Now, before moving further, I would like to introduce the speaker of the program, Dr. Lata Mishra.
Hello, Geeta. Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. A little introduction. So I have to give a little introduction about the speaker of the day. Dr. Lata Mishra is Professor English, Government Kamla Raja College, PG Girls College. She has 26 years of experience of teaching graduates and postgraduates classes. She is research guide in Jivaji University and adjudication board of the several universities in India. She has authorized 9 books. She also edits 2 international peer-reviewed journals, Labyrinth and WJGL. She has more than 60 research papers published in national and international journals. She has presented papers in national and international conferences, both as resource person as well as the participants. It nothing takes to light another candle from already lit candle. So, ma'am, before moving further for your lecture, I would like to request CAO of IPS Group of Colleges, Mr. P.K. Ghosh, to kindly utter a few words on this occasion. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you, Geeta. I think I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Well, welcoming everybody to this morning's discussion, emotional intelligence, improving emotional intelligence through personality development. Well, the term emotion, we are all familiar with emotions, and we quite often use this word, emotion. And we quite often also say that somebody is quite emotionally attached to the family. When we refer to this term, emotion, we would like to mean that the person is very much, they share the feeling and sensitivity with the other members of the family. In other words, emotion happens to be a state of mind. And in a family, if there is, if a person or each members of the family, they are attached to each other emotionally, that means there is a proper bondage, proper relationship. And that's why it is important for us to really know about emotion. And when we talk about emotional intelligence, we refer to the capacity of an individual to recognize the emotions of his self or herself, as well as to recognize and understand the emotions of others. As a leader, if one is capable to understand or can gauge the feeling or the emotions that run through the members of the group, then he will be accepted much better than any other. It is, in a way, a leadership quality to understand, to recognize, as well as, can I go on? I think it's off.
Hello.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your words of motivation. They're always required. Now, ma'am, you can start with your session.
Very rightly put, sir. Good morning to the teaching fraternity, all dear participant students and organizing committee. It gives me immense pleasure to be the part of this webinar organized by prestigious IPS College of Technology and Management, Gwalior. I extend my gratitude to Dr. A.K. Tyagi, Director, IPS Group of Colleges, Mr. P.K. Ghosh, CAO of IPS Group, and the Principal, Dr. P.S. Chauhan, for the invitation and opportunity to interact with faculty and students of the very relevant of this group of the college. And they have given me this opportunity to interact with the faculty and students and much needed topic, emotional intelligence. I'm also glad to share that Mrs. Geeta Sharma, the moderator for this webinar, answered all my queries regarding the webinar with such gentleness. The technical team and all the staff, I really appreciate. Now, before I begin, I would like to express my gratefulness to each and every student taking part in this webinar. Special thanks to you, each and everyone. You want to know why? It is for letting me in your world. Yes. Till now, what our generation used to say was that we have brought you in this world. But now the world has changed. It is the digital world. You are born in this world, so you are digital natives. This world belongs to you. We have immigrated to this world from a non-digital world. We are digital immigrants. From the younger generation, we are now learning computers and other technological devices, both at our workplace as well as at homes. So this exchange of knowledge between us, this is such a beautiful exchange. Together we can build a better world, a better present and future too. Now, after your studies, you would be joining your workplace. It's going to be a new environment where, along with your degrees, you would be requiring something else to mark yourself out among the rest, to stand out. And this will be required to build up relationships with your colleagues, seniors, and other staff. I hope I am audible. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So what I was saying is that there would be a need that you build up relationships with your colleagues, staff, seniors. Then your social environment will also change, because you would be leaving your hometown. You would be leaving the city where you are studying. You would be putting up with some roommates or flatmates. So basically, what you would need is adaptation. You have your own characteristics, often called your basic nature or personality. Under such circumstances, what anyone requires is what we call good emotional intelligence. So before we begin, I would ask you to have, all the students, in fact, I would ask you to have paper and a pen with you. So you will see some words on the screen. And see, here you see different faces, different expressions. They show your personality. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
The screen is shareable.
No.
Can you see the screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, just hold on. Just hold on. Just give me a second. I think I need to go back. I think just how do I should I click on, I think just give me a second.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Is it visible? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So now I give you, these are some words. So I would request these students here, just take 30 seconds and select any 5 words, at least 5 words, or you can select even more, and select those words that describe you. In fact, if you want, you can write these words in chat box also, or just take a paper and pen and select any 5, at least 5 words. And if you want to add some words from your own end, you can, because this list is not an exhaustive one. Okay, so the words that you chose describe what you think about yourself. Right. Now ask your friends or brothers and sisters, or you may even ask your parents. I know they may not be with you at present, but when you meet them, you may ask. Now just take a guess. How would they describe you? Will it be in the same terms that you just selected from the traits that you choose? No, the 5, 7 traits, whichever you have chosen, can you differentiate them or divide them, these qualities, into your good and not so good personality qualities? Just think for a while. How do these qualities affect your choice of stream or career? I mean to say, suppose you think that you are creative. Are you in the field of your choice? So we will come to this after understanding some key concepts, right? So at present, it is enough to know that these characteristics build up your personality. Now this term personality, this term is used a lot. What does it mean? Dictionaries would say that personality is a collection of long-term traits and patterns that drive individuals to, consistently or constantly think, feel, behave in specific ways. So this is a definition that I have chosen from an American personality psychologist. It's quite a loaded one, but what we can do is that we can break it into parts, meaningful parts, and then try to understand. He says personality is a dynamic organization. Okay, what is organization? We all know that organization means some entity or a group that shares some particular purpose. That, for example, our family is an organization. The institution where you are studying is an organization. College, university, or whatever your workplace is an organization. So, in a similar way, personality is an organization. What kind of organization? It's a dynamic organization. By dynamic, we mean that it's not static. It is not placed at one place without any change. Dynamic is something which is active, something that constantly changes and progresses. So personality is a dynamic organization, and where is this organization present? It is present within an individual. Organization of what? It is a dynamic organization of psychological systems. See, our body has so many organ systems. It has digestive system, it has circulatory system, it has respiratory system, you know all this. In a similar way, our personality also has a psychological system. Now, what are the different organs of this psychological system? What is it composed of? This psychological system is composed of, our beliefs, our feelings, our desires, emotions, individual perceptions. How do we perceive things? How do we look at things? So this varies from person to person. So each organization is different from the other. And then, as this definition says, it's a dynamic organization within the individual of those psychological systems that determine his unique adjustments to his environment. Personality adjusts itself according to the environment in order to survive. So just take an example. Suppose you go to a movie along with your friend, and it happens that the friend had invited you, right? Friend had invited you to this movie, and it happens that you enjoy the movie, you find humor in it, and your friend, you just turn your head and you see that your friend is taking a nice nap sitting beside you. He's not enjoying the movie, he is just sleeping. You hear the snoring of your friend. So this happens. Why? Because maybe because of the different personalities, he didn't like it, you liked it, so the personalities are different, or it was just that he worked previous night and so now he got tired and he fell asleep. Sometimes it depends on mood too. So emotions, mood, they may change every hour. But when the same emotion, same mood, it continues for long, it becomes the part of our temperament. And even longer if it stays, then it becomes our trait, a part of our personality. You know, your personality does not change just from one day to another. Actually, personality doesn't change much. But if there are any changes, you see this, if there are, even if there are some changes, it is very limited and it's very slow. But then personality is not static. It is not unchangeable either. So, you know, in order to adjust the environment, adjust with the environment, in order to adapt with the environment, we need to develop some skills. So this is what personality development is, helps us to survive. So what I have done is that for there are the set of 15 skills that we need to learn. And I promise you that when properly understood, deeply followed, these 15 proverbs or statements, these age-old wisdom words, they will definitely lead one to progress, good health, both physical and emotional, to love and laughter. I believe this is going to be an interactive session, and all the participants are actively going to contribute in this by writing down their thoughts and ideas in the chat box that we are going to discuss later. For now, let me begin with the proverb 1. First proverb. There are 15 in all. So, as we go to the, see, these are the various moods. So, this is the first proverb. These words are the words of Benjamin Franklin, a great philosopher, philosophical writer. He said, "He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals." He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. Can you tell me what does this mean? It means that I love me, myself, and so I have no competitors, no rivals. The ability to accept the way we are, with all good points and not so good points, we consider them bad points, that we possess, is a kind of skill. And this we call self-regard. When you respect yourself, you feel fulfilled and satisfied. But then there's a word of caution here. We need awareness of the fact that extremities are always bad in everywhere, you know. So this awareness of the fact that extremely high level of self-regard can make us narcissistic, loving yourself to the extent that you ignore the world, and egocentric at times. When we have very high level of self-regard, then there is a danger of being overly confident. So this is for you to decide when you do over of it. One tends to think that, you know, they can rarely make a mistake, any mistake. But then, having said that, on the other hand, too low self-regard, this may also lead to the feeling of insecurity and uncertainty. Oh, how can I accomplish this task? Can I complete it? What if I don't meet the deadlines? Do I have this capacity to do it? So these all things, they develop insecurity and uncertainty. So neither they should be too low or too high, but yes, respect yourself. What one needs is a balanced way. This skill should be developed. It comes with all the skills, they come with practice. Now there is an American author named Helen Keller. So she has also given a quotation. Her words are also very important. See, for self-regard, she says, never bend your head, hold it high, look the world straight in the eye. This confidence will come only when you give self-regard. You respect yourself. I find these lines very impressive. Now coming to the next statement. It's often used as a quote by a psychologist, Abraham Maslow. His theory, the theory of hierarchy of basic needs. This theory is studied in psychology. It is used in child development. It is also studied in various organizational levels for business purposes. So he says, he has given his hierarchy, and on the top of it is the where the person needs to achieve, what a person needs to achieve is self-actualization. So he says, what a man can be, he must be. What a man can be, he must be. The ability to actualize our inner potential and strive to achieve it. This is self-actualization. Again, there is one more psychologist, Sternberg, and he also has given an opinion, and he says that the individual should be allowed to pursue their goals at work. You cannot control the things of your organization, but at the same time, it is a responsibility of any organization that they should give chance to the employees. They should in fact try to find out the capabilities and energies in a potential of each and every employee of theirs. It is a task of the teachers to find the inner potential of every student, and they should be encouraged to direct their capabilities and energies to accomplishing the organizational goals. This is a win-win situation for both, for the organization as well as employees, for the college as well as teachers, for the students as well as teachers. Low level of self-actualization is often associated with frustration, despair, and in extreme case, it even leads to depression. When employees are given a chance, when students are given a chance, they get opportunity to flourish themselves. And this is in favor of the organization. It's in favor of the college. And what Maslow says is that when the distance between what you want and what you have achieved, this is minimum. It is minimal. You are close to the state of self-actualization. So this skill is the skill that individual should develop within himself, and they should find the opportunities where they can just fulfill their inner potential. They should find ways to channelize this inner potential of theirs. Now, moving to the third one. The third one, before that, see this Confucius, philosopher, he also says regarding self-actualization, he says, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. So choose a job you love. sometimes, but I feel that, you can even, choose to love a job with your dedication. So it can go both ways. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to, once you start enjoying your work, it doesn't feel like work. You are not burdened. And then it doesn't seem, when you are not burdened, you are not stressed, you enjoy your work, so it doesn't seem that you have worked, because you are in love. Right? So now the next one, the third one. This is something which has to do with emotional awareness. For this, these are the words of Anna Freud. She says that I was always looking outside myself for strength and confidence, but it comes from within. It is there all the time. So this awareness we need, this ability we need, this ability to recognize our various emotions and distinguish them between them. This is emotional awareness, self-awareness. Low level of emotional self-awareness often leads to difficulty in expressing and understanding emotions. We should know that what are we feeling and why are we feeling whatever we are feeling. So again, uh, um, if you don't have self-awareness, if you are not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy, no, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are not going any far. This is what Daniel Goleman says. Now, let me give you a situation. Let me give you a situation. You are with your mother. You are with your says your siblings, little brother or little sister, and the family, with that is mother, brother, sister, they are just chatting, and suddenly it's night, and suddenly electricity goes off. And what has happened last night is that you have seen some horror movie, and you're quite mature in age, right? All of you would be above 18 or 20 years at least. So now this electricity goes off, and your mother says that go to the kitchen, better go to the kitchen and light a candle. She doesn't know that you are scared, and you are greatly angered. You just burst out. Why should I go to kitchen now? Every time it is me, you're telling me to do something or other. No, I won't do. You have become lazy, ma. You should go to the kitchen. Right? Even if you spare your mother, suppose what the next thing you can do is that you may hit your brother on the head and say that, run to the kitchen, come on, light a lamp, light a candle. Now, see, what is the message that actually you have given to your brother at this stage? You have told your brother in your own way, or what the brother has understood is, let me get old. Let me grow up. I know by hitting, by bullying, we can get our work done. This is the message that you sent your brother. You hurt your mother. And what your mother did not realize, what your brother did not realize, is that this guy who goes to gym every day actually is a scared guy. He's so afraid of dark. And you just don't want to reveal this. And you know, the funny thing is that you yourself would have not realized that you are scared. You are not self-aware. You do not know about your feelings. Right? So this is the, usually this is what happens at homes, and we are not aware of your feelings. This was about self-awareness. Now coming to the next proverb. This again is a very funny one. It says, no guests at home, no hosts abroad. No guests, no hosts. If you do not entertain any guest, no one is going to entertain you as a guest. Right? So this is about mutual relationships. Another, proverb related with this, since it has to do with communication. There's one Paul Mayer. He says, communication, the human connection is the key to personal and career success. What is communication? Communication is human connection. And this human connection is actually key to personal and career success. We need to maintain this interpersonal skill, right? So this interpersonal skill will help us in our career progress. This will help in getting us better in personal relations, whether it is in society or it is in society, or it is in our life, or it is at our workplace. So this was the fourth proverb that we need to remember. No guests at home, no hosts abroad. So our ability to establish and maintain mutually satisfying relationships. We need to relate well with others. Meaningful social interactions that may be rewarding and pleasurable, mutually satisfying. So being skilled in interpersonal relationship involves giving and receiving affection. You may be wondering, is this a skill? Usually you love whom or whatever you are interested in, right? So because it is because two persons, they are never thinking in the same way. So but at various times you have to live on agreeable terms with so many people. So you have to build up relationship even with your loved one, because two people, they would never be thinking the same thoughts, feelings, interests at the same time, in the same space. Even parents and children, or couples, workers in the office, anyone, anywhere. So this component of emotional social intelligence is not only to do with cultivating friendly relationships with others, but with the ability to feel at ease and comfortable in such relationships. One has to develop the ability to be aware of your emotions, to understand feelings and emotions of the person you are in relation with, and then finally the ability to create and maintain interpersonal relationships. People are skillful in this. Those people who are skillful in this, they are very pleasant to be around. Just imagine you enter any party and you find someone who's smiling, strange person smiling at everyone. Such kind of people who smile and share, they create a positive atmosphere at work. So in many professions, in fact, whether it's marketing or sales and customer service, they look for such kind of people. Now, the fifth golden sentence is here. It is a Swahili proverb. Swahili's community, they use this. Concern is like medicine. When a person falls sick, he goes to a physician. Physician gives him some medicines, and this gives him some comfort. So, suppose a person is emotionally disturbed, is hurt, is wounded emotionally, and you just sit with him and show some concern. This concern itself is so soothing that his hurt is healed to certain extent. So this ability to be aware and to understand how others feel, this is empathy. This again is a skill. It is being sensitive to what, how, why people feel the way they do. Again, just to let me give you an example. For empathy, you go to a hotel and with your friends, and there in the hotel, you in that hotel you enter with your friends and you are just enjoying a dinner, and you have ordered all the niceties. You have all those kadai, paneer and everything, whatever is a favorite. And towards the end of the dinner, you're full, but still there is a lot of food remaining on your plate. And while chit-chatting with your friend, it happens that your eyes fall out of window and you find a little boy, a little child who is just looking into trash bins, looking for some food. He seems to be hungry. He is begging. And you immediately feel pity over that boy. Okay, pity word I have used here. So, what you do? It is obvious that you don't like that sight. So, what you do? Would you, would you go out and just throw some points on him, or you would better prefer to go to reception and they pay for your dinner, and along with it, you see some biscuit packets or something is kept there, and you just pick those two packets of biscuit, and while coolly you're going with your friend, you go near that boy and you just pat that boy on his head and on his back with your smiling face, and you hand over those two packets of biscuits to that boy. What would you do? Just think. So if you choose this second option, so this is what you call is empathy, showing concern. Showing concern is empathy, right? So this proverb, concern is like a medicine. This, see what Albert Einstein has said. He says empathy is patiently and sincerely seeing the world through the other person's eyes. It is not learned in school. It is cultivated over a lifetime. Since it is cultivated, so it's a skill. Now, The next proverb is really very interesting. This says, beat the drum inside the house to spare the neighbors. Beat the drum inside the house to spare the neighbors. This proverb. Now, what is this? Now, this is something which is missing in society today. This is social responsibility. You know, we are social beings. We live in a society. We work in groups. So social responsibility means not causing obstructions to others, not harming others, you know, and cooperating with others in a constructive and contributing manner. Social responsibility is related to identifying and understanding feelings in addition to being aware of emotions. Now you see how these skills that we have discussed so far, all these 6 skills, they are all interrelated and intertwined with each other. Social responsibility determines effectiveness at work. The entire social people, they are often called antisocial elements. The term element itself suggests that they are not considered as humans because it is not humane. So they are reduced to elements. Human beings means you should have ability to empathize, to be able to feel that what you do to others is not right. If you are harming. So whether in school, college, or at workplace, we should know how to respect and have consideration for others. Not to judge others in each and every situation. You know, many of us have a habit of prying into the personal lives of our friends. As long as that person would not like to discuss, don't discuss. When the person would feel like sharing, he would come to you, he would share. So not be judgmental each and every situation. And social responsibility also means loyalty, commitment towards people. It may be your family, your parents, your spouse, and the goals of the institution. You have to be loyal towards it. You have to be committed for your organization. So it involves cooperation with others. And most of all, which is very important in fact, is that not causing hindrances, obstructions in others' work. That is the biggest thing that you can do for the other person. Let me again give you some example. Suppose you have an exam tomorrow and you hide the book of your classmate, of your roommate, you know, just because he has won a match and you were defeated because of him. So this is disloyalty. Disloyalty with any person or organization one day leaves the person isolated, unattended. So one should feel responsibility for both the success and failure of our institution or whatever organization one is working in. See here, this is what Henry Ford, we all know, the maker of great cars, Ford, Henry Ford, he says, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Coming together, people getting connected. Keeping together, people staying with each other. Working together towards a common goal. Success can't escape. success will definitely come to that organization that is able to keep the employees working together. The only thing is that we have to understand our responsibility. We have to be socially responsible. Now, coming to the 7th, I told you there are 15 sub skills that need to be followed. And for these 15 sub skills, I have just selected 15 proverbs and statements. Once we remember, it's easy to remember. Once we remember, whenever such a situation arrives in our lives, we escape so many perils. So this is a Corsican proverb. Corsica, is an island in Mediterranean Sea. So this 7th mantra is to know the road ahead, ask those returning, get advice, then make your decision. There's nothing wrong in seeking advice from experienced people. Decision is going to be your own, definitely. You will weigh all the pros and cons of it. But suppose you are on journey and someone has already traveled on that road and you ask them, are there any potholes there? Do you get jam? Do we get some vegetables on the way if we need? So that helps in the journey. So get advice and then make your decision. So what is this called? This skill that you need to develop is problem solving. Problem solving involves identifying a problem, which may be of intrapersonal nature, that means within you, some internal conflict, or it may be interpersonal with some other person. Right? So feeling confident and also motivated to deal with it. This is the second step that we need for problem solving. First is that we need to identify the problem, and then you need to stay motivated so that you can solve it. So, you need to gather all the data, all the information, then analyze those information that you have gathered. So in this way, all possible solutions can be generated and the best one can be implemented. See, there are two kinds of problems that we face in our life. Some are man-made. It is we who have created it. So such problems can be sought out. But then there are some other kinds of problems which are beyond human control. So such problems which are beyond human control, you know that there is no solution to it. In place of, I know it's easy to say, but I think we can at least practice it. So what do we do when we are stuck in such problem which is not man-made? The best way is probably to find some sort of good distraction. Just remember, when was the last time when you visited some garden, you walked down the lawn, the green grass. When was it that you felt those blades of the grass? When did you pass by and you cared for the fragrance of the flowers that you saw coming from some bush? These are the distractions. Or you may watch some funny movie, whichever you can enjoy. It will take off your mind from the feeling of desperation that you were feeling because of this kind of some incident that has happened that you find difficulty in coping up with. So this is the skill called problem solving. See all the options, whichever fits and you find is the best one, just try it. Coming to the 8th sub-skill, I think it is 8th one, to sub-skill, and this is called reality testing. Now, the mantra that we need to understand and remember is this one, which Zig Ziglar gives. He says, your mind does not know the difference between reality and fantasy. Your mind acts on what you feed it. Feed it good thoughts. You know, often it happens that when we do not like something, we just shift to the world of fantasy. We feel, wherever we feel comfort, we go to that. Reality becomes very harsh, very hard in the life. So what we do, we simply take a transition and shift to the world of fantasy. And then if this fantasy for short time is okay, fine. But when it continues for a long time, then it becomes problematic. It becomes a psychological situation. So what we need is, in reality testing, it's a term from psychology, so I should not be going into psychology thing, but something that we can understand. Our ability to objectively authenticate our feelings. Just think objectively. And thinking with external reality. Reality testing is actually the process of objectively distinguishing between our inner world of thoughts and the external world, which is reality, which is the real world. Often it happens that when you find a new place, so this is what happens when after 12th you go to college, or after college you go to your workplace. Your place has changed, so you know everything is strange. So under such circumstances, you find protective in your own world. You build up a cocoon around yourself, ignore the activities that are taking place around you. This way, what is happening is that you are alienating yourself, breaking away from yourself, from the realities, and falling into world of fantasy. Let me give you my own incident. When I came to college and when I came to hostel, and I was admitted to the hostel, and I was a very shy person. I would not like to interact with anyone. It is not liking, but in fact, I was very hesitant. So when girls initially used to smile at me, I used to return their smile, but I never took initiative. You know, people won't come chasing you every time. So after some time, it happened that girls built their own groups, and I was just alone. And from Monday to Friday, I used to simply wait for Friday evening to come so that my classes may end and I may go to my mama's place. His family was in the same city, Agra. So I used to wait, and Friday evening itself, I used to take auto, and I used to go to my mama's place, and his sons, my cousin brothers, they were much younger to me. So I used to enjoy with them. And then with a very heavy heart on Monday, I used to come back. So that mama's place, you know, it was like a cocoon for me. I used to find comfort there. Then, to cut the story short, finally, you know, I realized that my reality is my hostel room. It's my university. I have come here for studies. My parents have sent me here to do something. So let me focus on that. This is my space. These are my people, these girls, these hostel mates, my roommates, they are my family. So when I realized this, I could settle. I have to put in deliberate efforts to build up this relation. Of course, I did not know these required skills at that time. It would have been much easier for me to cope up. I didn't know that this is a skill and it is learnable. So reality testing involves tuning in. What happens is that when you go for FM channels, you tune in so that the voice is clear to you. In the similar way, in life also, you have to tune in to find the real situation, reality. And this reality testing is a skill to assess and cope with the situation, and it involves the ability to focus when examining ways of coping with the situation that arise without falling into any sort of harassment or bullying. This is what happens at new place. And this is a time, when we should have this ability to recognize and understand the essentials of immediate situation, as well as quickly to assess the seriousness. There may be some potential risk. You should be aware of those risks. Have courage to take suitable steps that are needed at that hour. Now, moving to the next skill, and I don't remember which number is it, must be some 8th or 9th, but then this is a funny sentence. It's an African proverb. Anger and madness are brothers. One person who becomes angry, he closes his mind, is more like a mad person. So anger and madness, just remember, whenever we get angry, we need to remember this proverb, and this will make you laugh, the picture especially, the photo. So this anger is a kind of an impulse. And there's one more proverb that, okay, there's one more sentence, it's like exact words, if you get rich, be in a dark corner when you jump for joy. If you get rich, be in a dark corner when you jump for joy. That means, whenever you get a news, suppose, and you are overjoyed, being angry or being overjoyed, they both are extremes. So if suppose you get rich, by rich it doesn't mean only money, anything that overjoys you, it is better to go to a dark corner, and there you can jump as much as you want. This is how the saying goes. You can jump as much as you want, and when you have calmed down your passions, when you are just normal, your normal self, then you come out. So impulse control basically is an ability to remain composed and patient under pressure while resisting and delaying one's impulse to make a rash decision. See, suppose it happens in our classes that you are assigned a project in class and you reach for guidance to your teacher. Just an imaginative incident you can take in order to understand this. You go to a teacher and you just want guidance, but it happens that you see into a chamber and you find that she is busy over her mobile. You come to her after some time. You just wait, you find she is still busy, you just go to your class, But then you come back for the second time and you see that she is still on her mobile. Now you go for the third time and she has been watching you. That first time you came, then again second time you came, and now you are turning up third time. So what happens is that she gets irritated. And it's for no reason. This is what you perceive, that it is for no reason. And she speaks really very harshly with you. Why are you so impatient? Can't you wait for some time? Okay, something like that she says. What do you feel? What does your impulse say? Okay, don't act now, but then you try not to do what your agitated mind is provoking you to act. Something is stopping you. Okay, it is an emotional signal from our brain which generates signals throughout your body, and it tells us that something is deserving of attention. Something needs to happen now. Stop me from acting something. You know, people don't listen, who don't listen to the signal, they will respond in a way that may damage themselves. But there are people with high levels of emotional control, you know, people that take time to respond. They would people who would wait to understand. Well, teacher said this, you did not think, this does not occur to you that maybe she would be stuck with some problem, she would be dealing something in her own personal life, maybe because of this she would have responded in that way. So you are young, so it doesn't occur to you this way. All right, so here what
मैम का फोन अनम्यूट कर दीजिए सर.
मैम किसको?
लता मिश्रा मैम का
Yes, ma'am.
अनम्यूट.
वो मैम ने ही म्यूट किया हुआ है इसमें.
ओके ओके.
hello
Yes, ma'am.
hello,
Yes, ma'am. We are getting your voice.
are you getting my voice?
Yes ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see me?
Yes ma'am. Now continue ma'am.
Okay. I think there was some problem. Am I visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one I had. Yeah. So when while we are talking about impulse control, see this quote by James Collins: "You need self-control. It is in an out of control world." So this world in itself, you see, is an out of control. You have no control over the world. But if you don't have control over the world, at least what attempt we can do is that we can exercise self-control. And this self-control, or impulse control, this again is a skill. Now coming to the next one, again a Corsican proverb. Corsican proverbs are really very interesting. You can go on net and find so many these proverbs. I've selected from internet. So this Corsican proverb says, "Unhappy he who has no one. Unhappy he who has no one. Now this Corsican proverb, if you uh, see this, what is this? This means that the skill of expressing one's own emotions effectively and clearly. This is essential. This kind of skill, we call it emotional expression. Constructive and accurate expression of emotion is emotional expression. So unhappy he who has no one. Now he doesn't stand actually for an individual alone, I think. This he could be your any talent, music, or writing poetry, or it could be, you know, just excuse me. So the unhappy he who has no one. The skill of expressing one's emotions, I said, is emotional expression. So writing or painting your feelings, or verbally you may describe your feelings to someone. This is what emotional expression is all about. Or let out your feelings in a private place with your own people. So being able to express the feelings clearly and openly, rather than what we are tempted to do is hinting, implying, or hoping that someone will work it out. No one, is waiting for you, is ready to work so much. It is you who need to explain your feelings to your people. They may not be perceiving that you want to say something. So it is you who needs to go there, take initiative. It can mean actually being able to name the feeling and then finding the courage to say specifically how you feel. So emotional intelligence and emotional expression is not just about the so-called negative or unpleasant emotions, not about positive emotions or pleasant ones. It is a whole lot. These all emotions, whether they are positive, whether they are negative, they need to be channelized. Even being angry, is a self-expression. You are expressing your frustration over something. Maybe you are betrayed. Maybe you didn't want something you thought you deserved. So it is not bad. After all, it's an emotion. But then the ability, being able to choose to whom you express your emotion and when, rather than the emotion taking you over and you bursting into tears or banging your fist in an important meeting. For as example I gave you, your teacher who didn't pay attention to you. Self-expression is not about being emotional. It is about expressing your emotions with intelligence. There's this quotation by Daniel Goleman. He says, anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, this is not easy. So this is what we have to develop. This is a difficult task, but with practice over years, at least to a certain degree, we think that we can, to a certain extent, succeed in it. Now coming to, I think, some of these proverbs are left. Coming to the next one. This one says, this is by a brand. These are all motivational people. philosophers, psychologists. So this one says that there is boldness in being assertive. There is strength and confidence. Right? So this skill is emotional self-expression, or you may also call it assertiveness. This is made up of, how the ability to express your feelings on an emotional level. It's to express our feelings on an emotional level, the ability to express our beliefs and opinions. Now you see, feelings are one thing and beliefs and opinions, they are other. You would have seen people, whether you are a college student or you are working somewhere, that people at workplaces also discuss their beliefs. Now, beliefs are something which are deeply rooted in our culture, in our family tradition. But these days, our workplaces, they are becoming multicultural. People from diverse backgrounds, different cultures, they are working together. At such a place, discussing your beliefs is sometimes very risky. It may, keep you away. It may cut you off from your group. So the ability to express your beliefs and opinions on a cognitive level. You can discuss your belief, but they should be at cognitive level. That means if your brain, if your mind, can find out the logics to prove your beliefs, then it's fine, okay. But otherwise, if it is just on an emotional level, it is just your belief, and for you it may be logical one, but for the others it may be illogical one. So better don't discuss that. The third important thing in this assertiveness is the ability, you should have this ability to stand up for your rights, not to allow others to exploit, because these things do take place in colleges, whether they are seniors or they are classmates, to exploit, harass, take advantage of us. So we should have this confidence. Tell me, can you effectively express your feelings if you are unaware of what you want to express? When you talk about self-expression, this also comes into picture. You need ability to understand your emotions first. Have faith in yourself. Be logical. So, and one thing more, a very important thing that I want to point out is that, remember, this assertiveness is not arrogance. Assertiveness is a trait of strong people. And arrogance is the quality of weak people. When you're scared of something, you show your anger. You become arrogant. But when we are confident at cognitive level, we can prove our beliefs. When we are emotional and emotionally honest, so assertiveness becomes a positive point. Now coming to the next, assertiveness is a trait of strong people and arrogance is a quality of weak people. Now, this again is a Corsican proverb, which we can, again, a lot of Corsican proverbs that I have selected. So, Lord, make us shepherds in spring and swineherds in winter. Lord, make us shepherds in spring and swineherds in winter. That means in spring we need shepherds, so we can opt for that role. In winter it is a time for swineherds, so better be swineherds. So this is all about flexibility, you can say. right? This is the 12th skill. What does this suggest? See, there's one more proverb along with this. Let me put that first. Okay, I think I have not selected that one. Yeah, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. What does this suggest? Flexibility. Our ability to adapt and adjust our feelings, thinking, and behavior to new situations and conditions. This skill, flexibility, it gives this ability to adjust to different social environments. It is an extremely, I would say, important skill for individuals as it contributes to survival at new place. Look at what's happening these days. Most of us teachers who never use computer as much as now, till now, you know, we all are going for online teaching. Few years, or rather you may say few months back, we would have never imagined this, but it's happening. This is adaptation. We cannot afford rigidity. We have to accept new challenges. Today's success in today's job market often requires creativity. It requires flexibility. It requires a readiness to see things in new ways. Flexible people or flexible thinkers, they are creative innovators. As they think in as they see things in in various perspectives, they solve problems in very constructive ways. They come up with new ideas. So this skill, your mind, this, as the proverb says, your mind is like a parachute. This, it only works when it is open. Suppose the parachute fails to open, what would happen with the life of man? In a similar way, if we live with our closed mind, things would crash down. Survival would become impossible. So flexibility is an essential trait that we need to, essential skill that we need to develop. Now coming to the next skill, I just came to know that a webinar on stress management has already taken place in IPS. So I'm not going to discuss this skill in detail, but just let me give this quote. I found this very interesting by Wade Goodell. Wade Goodell has said that it isn't stress that makes us fall. It's how we respond to stressful events. It isn't stress that makes us fall, it's how we respond to stressful events. The first step is to understand yourself, how you react in different situations, what causes you stress, and how you behave when you feel stressed. You see, not all stress is bad. We need stress in order to improve ourselves. But then be aware of when you go too hard on yourself. Good stress keeps us working. It helps us to achieve our goals. So this good stress, there's a term with it. We call it eustress, EUSTRESS, eustress. Eustress is good. We need to feel stress all the time because we have to meet with deadlines, and this stress will help us in reaching our goals. But the moment it starts distressing, then it is harmful. So what Daniel Goleman has to say about it? He says, you know, okay, I haven't written it, but there is a saying by Goleman. He talks about managing emotions, and in that he says that he says by stress he means distressing emotions that incapacitate you. Feeling emotion, he says, it makes your life rich. Feeling emotions is what makes life rich. You need passion, but this passion should not turn into stress. And this is what he means by this. Coming to the next proverb that leads us to the 14th skill, last but one, 14th skill that we need to learn. The best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your arm. So this is called independence. This is self-reliance. This is the feeling that we are in control and can influence situations. This skill gives us the ability to be self-directed in our thinking and actions. Self-reliant people can make plans and take important decisions. They seek and consider other people's opinions. Consulting with others is not a sign of dependency. Decision, but when you are seeking people's opinion and suppose things turn wrong, we generally have the habit of blaming people. We say, this person had given us the guidance and see how the things have gone wrong. Just take care that the decision taken should be our own. We should take entire responsibility upon us. Independent people, self-reliant people, they don't blame others when things go wrong. This skill helps, helps a lot in coping with stress and working under pressure, whether it's your exam or your workplace. The last one, coming to the last one, this saying, I think is the funniest one. And this is the best one to develop this last but not the least skill in us, optimism. The wine says to the vintager, make me poor and I'll make you rich. Vintager is a person who harvests grapes. He plucks the fruits from the grape wine and makes wine out of it. So optimism, as I said, is our ability to maintain positive and hopeful attitude towards life, even the face of adversity. So when the grapes are plucked by the vintager and the wine becomes without grapes, that is the distressing situation for the wine. But wine is so optimistic that it says, make me poor, because she knows that she will again put in efforts. She will bear fruits again. There will be more grapes. So make me poor. I'll make you rich. have confidence in your own potential, and then there's nothing wrong in fulfilling your social responsibilities. You won't become poor with that. We need to enrich our society. We need to enrich our organization. We need to enrich our workplace. We need to enrich where we are getting education from. We won't be poor when we put in our efforts. The wine says to the vintager, make me poor and I'll make you rich. We know it's very hard, next to impossible. Because when we are in trouble, every possible situation seems as if we are drowning. How can one be optimistic? This is too theoretical. This is what we may think. But then we should know is that it is a skill with practice, maybe a long one, long practice. We may be able to bring difference in our attitude towards life. We can at least give it a try. There is a strong connection between optimism and the ability to cope with problems. With optimism, we stay self-motivated and it gives strength to cope with stress and achieve our goals. Related to this, we had just a few minutes back discussed about empathy, concern. Related to these two skills, optimism and concern, and just reminded of an incident. A father just shared with me his story with his son. His son is just 14 years old. He said that these days, my son used to, as he grew up as a teenager, he is telling me a lot of stories daily, a lot of problems daily, and I just tell him some solutions, and he gets irritated. So one day, when father again began suggesting some solutions to his problem, son said, Papa, I just don't tell you your problems so that you tell me solutions. No, I share with you my problems only because I want you to listen to them. Just listen. So this is what is empathy or concern. The son has the hope that if the father listens, it is enough for him. He has shared his emotions and he wants just this kind of feeling from his father that yes, son, yes, beta, I have also gone through this way. I have also walked this path. I have these things. I have, experienced these things. I have shared this burden. And this is something that happens. This much is enough for the son. He doesn't want solutions. So basically, these all skills, they are all interrelated, intertwined. So now we discuss set of 15 skills that would develop our personality, make us capable of understanding various emotions and improve our emotional intelligence. So see, the emotional intelligence, even Baron, he says emotional intelligence predicts how well we perform at home, school, and in the workplace. Emotional intelligence is the collection of interrelated emotions and social competencies, skills, and behavior that impact intelligent behavior. This is what emotional intelligence can do with you. It improves human relationships, reduces stress, enhances communication with people, makes one empathic, boosts your career prospects, increases confidence, positive attitude, gives creativity, we learn to accept mistakes, we learn to rectify them. This skill set, 15 skills, they can be grouped into 5 competencies. It's a balance between head and heart. This is what we have just seen. So these all 15 skill sets, they can be grouped in 5 competencies according to Baron's model. And intrapersonal, interpersonal, adaptability, stress management, and general mood. This intrapersonal skill actually is a self-perception. See this one. On the basis of this chart, I had prepared 15 skills. You see, these are called sub-skills. These sub-skills are in the innermost circle of emotional intelligence. This model was prepared by Baron. It is for, it's called, it's 2.0 version. You can see that. So I just, yes, it's EQI 2.0 model. So these three skill sets are actually 5 competencies. These 5 competencies are, first one is self-perception, which is also called intrapersonal competency. Then is self-expression, interpersonal, decision-making, stress management. Now, these 5 competencies can be enhanced by developing these 15 skill sets, which would develop personality. And when the personality is developed, emotional intelligence is sharpened. Now, why do we need to focus on emotional intelligence in higher education? See what Chief of Mental Health at Harvard University, Dr. Richard Caddison, has to say. He says, even students who succeed academically can be at risk. Who succeed academically is often IQ. Who can be at risk if unhealthy behavioral patterns, that is EQ, follow them after college. At college level, if we could address this issue of emotional intelligence, our students would be able to adjust in a better way at their workplaces. That shock often that they experience when they move from, or when their status from student to an employee is changed, that transition can be smooth. So even students who succeed academically can be at risk if unhealthy behavioral pattern follow them after college. Promoting emotional health in students is an investment in future. It should be part of mission of all colleges and universities. I think we should have, as in general traditional courses, we have foundation course that includes general English, Hindi, and it is either environmental science or entrepreneurship. We should have something on emotional intelligence. Applying emotional intelligence methodology in higher education can have lots of benefits for students. It not only fulfills their wishes and dreams, but also makes them to be more efficient in their field. So on that note, I will stop now with the hope that each one of us will spread emotional intelligence in our life. Thank you. Over to the organizing committee.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a valuable lessons and enlightening words from you. Now I invite question and answers.
Yes, sure.
So students, please write your questions in the chat boxes, or if you have dropped, I will be reading. You can raise hand and ask the questions. And kindly write the questions in very short manner, and they should be straightforwardly asked. Do not just make them lengthy. Yes.
आप एक बार ट्राई करो.
You know, something is written in the chat box. There's a message
Yes.
by Urvashi.
Yes, Urvashi. I'm not able to see this.
She says that I am very emotional person. I start crying very much and tears always in my eyes. She wants solution for this. So sweet. Should I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Urvashi, see, we all are very emotional people, right? So when we talk of emotional intelligence, what we are saying, basically we are talking about is handling our emotions. And this weeping is an expression of your emotion. So I'm sure you would be having your friends, your family members. Don't keep emotions pent up in your heart. These pent up emotions, they turn into tears. Weeping is a healthy sign, no problem with that. But whatever is in your mind, just share it with someone. That is important. Handling emotion itself is a step towards building your emotional intelligence.
We can have more of the questions.
Yes, sure. I'm waiting.
Yeah. Yes, there is one more from Shivani. So kindly unmute Shivani. Shivani. Not raising hand. She has
Yes,
dropped the
Shivani.
question.
Yes. Shivani, see, when you got admitted in the school, whether it was LKG or UKG, all the students there, you met them for the first time. Then whenever you would have changed the school, there would have been so many strangers. Then finally you came to college, again you made new friends. So getting over friendly with strange people, I would never suggest that. But yes, with a balanced attitude, with assertiveness, the skill, one of the skill that I have suggested, assertiveness. With assertive mindset, you can, with a smile, approach people, give your introduction, take their introduction. This would happen when you go for a job. But initially, too much of trust would be a blunder. So emotional intelligence basically is all about these 50, whatever questions are coming in your mind, definitely answer to these questions are within these 15 skills. Okay, have I answered your question?
We have more questions.
Yes, this is a question by Nikat Khan. She is asking about managing and building ourselves in actualization. See, here, I would like to talk about the theory of hierarchy of basic needs of Abraham Maslow. It's a kind of a triangle, a pyramid, and at the bottom of the pyramid is need for safety. This is answer to your question also when you are talking about strangers, Shivani. So here, when you are talking about actualization, the first basic thing, you can self-actualize yourself when your need for safety is satisfied. You need to feel safe in any situation. Then comes need for love. You need to feel that yes, you are being wanted. When your need for love is satisfied, then comes your sense of belongingness. Suppose you have joined a job, you should feel that you belong to this place. Okay. After belongingness, it is self-esteem, the skill that we talked about. First skill, self-regard,
Yes,
respecting yourself. When all these needs of yours are fulfilled, that is safety, love, belongingness, self-regard or self-esteem, then finally is self-actualization, that you get to do what you want to do, or your inner potential should be channelized. What you want to be, you should be, you must be. This is what Maslow says. So that is a way that you can build yourself towards self-actualization. Should I move to the next question?
Yeah, Pallavi has a question. Sir, kindly unmute Pallavi. She's asked how to deal with the past situations which are there running around the mind again and again.
Yeah. I could see this question. She's saying that my question is how to deal with past situation that's running around my mind again and again. This past is now a fantasy. It's not your reality. What is your reality, Pallavi? Today, you are attending a webinar on emotional intelligence. This is your reality. Past is gone. It was. So, better do reality testing and being present with your cognitive thinking, that is with your brain. Because when you're talking about emotional intelligence, it is not a bundle of emotions which are all in chaos. It is intelligence. Intelligence means you know to handle. So develop these 15 skills and do the reality check. Just work out your present situation and leave the cocoon. That is, that is a cocoon. Wherever you feel safe, you stay there. So don't be held up with your past situation, whether it was good or bad. Let me tell you something. I think this would be interest to others also. It is Daniel Goleman. I don't remember exactly who says this, but we should forgive 4 kinds of people. The first type of person that we should forgive, first person that we should forgive is our parents. Whether they are alive or they are no more. Just forgive them for if you feel some wrong has been done to you. Okay, so forgiving parents releases them as well as releases you. Second, a person whom you should forgive in life is spouse or whomever a person would have been in relationship with. Never blame that person, because whatever happened and the relationship would now still be there or it would be broken one, definitely 100% blame does not go on his head or her head. Both persons had something to do with it. So just forgive this second person. Third is forgive your friends, forgive your enemies. Why to forgive your friends and forgive your enemies? Again, that is, I would not go into all the details, but whatever incident has happened, you definitely had a part in it. And the fourth one is forgive yourself. Never be hard on yourself. We would have committed mistakes, but then after all, we are all human beings. So we need to basically forgive everyone and move on in our lives. And one more thing that I would like to add is be full of gratitude. Every morning, count your blessings. Whatever you would have lost in your life, just see how much you still have. Focus on that. That is very important. Yes. Should I move to the next question?
Yeah, there are many questions continuously coming, ma'am. The topic is like that. Everybody wants to share something or the other.
I know. But we can
Uh,
simply group these questions.
yeah, you just find out the questions which can be put together and answered. There are many same sort of questions also. How to deal with the negative situations. And one is asking, interacting with others
Someone,
is
I would like
something.
to
Yeah.
answer the question that Kajal Sharma has posted. Sometimes
Kajal
I
Sharma.
am distressed. Sometimes I am stressed by some domestic violence and remain sad every time. Is there any way how I can remain happy? Now see, Kajal, if the situation is something like it's a threat, then immediately you need to take action. Seek legal advice. If it is something that you can get over with soon with your education, with your job, go for it. If this violence is happening because of spouse, immediately break the relationship because things will not improve. And it's important that a person stands on feet, your own feet. And sadness is no solution to it. You need to handle situation. And remember, we are always talking about potential. Every human being has a potential to save himself or herself. Bring out that potential, which is deep buried inside you. Should I move to the next question now?
Now, I think questions are so many, and that will be, I think, extending so much. With
Should we
this,
leave it for the next webinar?
of course, ma'am, it requires one more session, and
Yeah.
I must call Mr. Anand Bhatnagar. Is he there?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Anand Bhatnagar, kindly come and propose vote of thanks for the day.
Good afternoon to all. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I would like to express our sincere thanks to Professor Lata Mishra, ma'am, from KRG College on behalf of the Department of Applied Science and Humanities, IPS CTM, for giving an excellent coverage on improving emotional intelligence through personality development. I hope it will be an enriching experience for all of us and definitely add few more chapters in our abilities towards success. I am thankful to Honorable Director Sir, IPS Group of Colleges, Dr. Arun Kumar Tyagi, respected Principal Sir, IPS CTM, Dr. P.S. Chauhan, CAO Sir, IPS Group of Colleges, Mr. P.K. Ghosh for their support for conducting this webinar. I'm thankful to Dr. Jyoti Mishra, HOD, Applied Science and Humanities, HODs of the other department and faculty members for their friendly support to make this webinar successful. I also want to say thanks to the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dr. Karunen Verma, Mr. Madhukar Dubey, and other faculty members for their support in successful conduction of the program. I want to apologize for any disturbances during the webinar. Last but not the least, I want to say thanks to all the audience for their patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
And all the participants will get their e-certificates within 8 to 10 days. You will get one link on your WhatsApp group, and that link will be filled, and form should be duly filled. And within an hour, you have to submit the forms here, and you will be getting the e-certificates after 8 days at least. So thank you so much once again, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, shall I
Thank you,
leave
ma'am.
meeting?